Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, freaks of all ages, and I say that honestly. This is Jabronis United. Thank you for joining up tonight. I am, of course, the de facto host, Brian the Real Dealer Regan. With me, as always, is Dayveonne Ryan, shining bright like a diamond as he always does. What? I hate that you can do that. I really do. I'm sorry. So Davion's actually feeling pretty good, I guess. No? Yes? Maybe?
Yes, of course I'm feeling great.
Wonderful. And of course, we do have a lot to talk about, but some interesting things that we're probably going to get to before we get to the big news concerning Jabronis United and Streampunk Entertainment as a whole, especially if you happen to be in the New Jersey area this weekend. But first and foremost, there's a couple of things that have happened in the past couple of days that, just need to be talked about.
Right.
First of all, and I hate to bring this up because I do feel like this is like a nothing burger,
It is.
but I think something needs to be talked about Tiffany Stratton. Not so much Tiffany herself because she's good. She's a good people. She does good work. But I think something does need to be said in regards to the internet wrestling community on a whole. Now, for those of you who do not know, Tiffany is pretty much like the new darling, I would say, of SmackDown, of WWE. She's very athletic. She's an incredible heel. And yeah, when you look at her, she is basically just like the most whitest white girl you'll ever see in your life. Um, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not. It's not. But yeah, that's like Beverly Hills, LA at midnight, sort of like kind of shit. Are you a fan, Day?
I'm intrigued. I'm not saying I'll take one night with Tiffy, but I'm intrigued.
How droll of you. Anyway, apparently, Tiffany on her social media had gone ahead and reposted or shared a fan made edited video concerning a match where she was going up against, I believe, Naomi and Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some dubbing that happens to be done to this video. Now, I can't show the whole video because obviously copyright, but if you see this image, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And unfortunately, there was some dubbing over it where the words, and again, forgive me for saying this.
You know what? I'll say it. I'll say
yeah, okay. You say it. You say it. Yeah, that's actually better. You say it. You say it. This way, I don't get.
Well, there was some stuff that was dubbed over by saying "black," BITCH.
I mean, you can say the word. I mean, this is just YouTube.
Yeah,
And we're not going to go crazy with saying it.
It was like black bitch.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So that was said, even though it had no context to the video being shown. And yes, unfortunately, for some people, they maybe took it in the wrong way, thinking that it was a real thing. Not because Tiffy said the words or because Tiffy said it in this match, but just because she shared it. She reposted it, as if by doing so, she's giving like a thumbs up to the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, some people were saying, "Oh, she should be taken off. She shouldn't be on SmackDown. Kick her out of the King of the Ring. Fire her." Between you and I, does that seem like a little bit of an oversimplification of what should be done? Like, does it really feel like it's that big of a deal?
Okay. I'm going to say this. She should have kind of monitored or knew what was on there and made sure that it didn't seem racist. It wasn't, I know she didn't say it because it was audio dubbed. But the intent and the language that was involved in it made it came off racist. I'm not saying that she should get fired, maybe suspended. I'm saying suspension or maybe a warning.
Hmm. See, I'm going probably further than you are. Or actually, let me say backtracking more than you are.
Mhm.
Um, I don't see this as that big of a deal.
Yeah,
I don't.
because let me tell you why you don't see it as a big deal.
Okay. Do tell me. Tell me
Yeah, I'm
why I'm
gonna
thinking
tell
about
you
it.
because you're looking at the innocent aspect that it's not her actually saying it, but it's the intent. And even though she didn't mint it in that format, that's how it came off as.
Right.
And
Counterpoint. Oh,
go ahead.
counterpoint. Um, First of all, wrestlers say stuff to each other, not on necessarily on television, all the time. Like you look at people's Twitter spaces, you look at their Instagrams, you look at anything that is not on cable access television, and they will go ham on each other back and forth, commenting, retweeting, whatever. Um, just in order to like build up tension and rivalry and storyline.
Yeah, but
Now,
I'm gonna
now, now,
count.
now, now-
I'm gonna count it
okay,
real quick.
count it. Yes.
Okay. Even though you're basically going toe to toe, words for words, there's certain lines and certain things you have to be aware of, and you have to be mindful as a professional wrestler, as a professional performer. Even as if you're doing kayfabe, you have to be mindful for it, and that's racism, political, as um, religion, and all that other stuff. Of course, this is no longer the Vince era of WWE, but this is the TKO era, meaning UFC. So you don't know what type of guidelines and stuff that they are allowed and not allowed to say. This
Right,
is, but
let me
this is
counter that. If I can counter, WWE has come out with no statement whatsoever regarding this. And
right.
as far as her still being on the card, she is still on the card to face Jade Cargill this Friday night on SmackDown.
No, no,
So
no.
it is playing into that.
You're right.
And
But here,
to be fair, Jade Cargill is somebody who, back in her tenure at AEW, would constantly use the word bitch. Why do I say it when it sounds like I'm saying something from South Park? But yeah, no. I sound like Mr. Mackey when I do that. But anyway, she has been on the record as saying that constantly, especially when she was holding the TBS championship, which stood for that bitch show because she was in control. So I mean, to use that kind of language, and regardless of whether or not the bitch is in there, yes, I understand the word black.
that
While Jade
that
is
yes,
a
that
person of a
it,
particular color,
it's not the
and
word.
thus nothing she said was defamatory, inflammatory, or I would say considerably racist, considering what we've seen from other people in the past. I don't exactly think this is something that you go ahead and you flame her up for.
Uh,
It's a tweet that shouldn't have been tweeted. If you go on her socials, I don't think it's there anymore.
yeah.
Um, and I feel like the internet wrestling community as a whole maybe needs to pull it back a bit sometimes.
See, that's the thing. Like, it's not the bitch word. It's not the bitch
No,
word,
of course not. No.
but it's when you utilize black because it does come off. Because it does come
So
off.
if so, just to point out, and
Mhm.
again, I'm not trying to be like that uh, Chiefs guy that went ahead and gave the speech earlier this week at the college, but just to take things back to a bit, if Jade had said something or something was recorded in Jade's voice or something alluded from Jade to Tiffy and the words white bitch were used,
Still
would
would
we consider that inflammatory as well?
yeah, because you're describing a race. Besides, she can't not just be that bitch or that bitch or because it's not the fact that because she could have said bitch and it wouldn't have been a big deal. but because you said black bitch, that's why it's a big deal.
Right,
So
but
if
Tiffany
Jay
is also
Cargill,
a
no,
heel,
no,
so she's going to say
I
stuff to get under
no,
people's skin.
but there's certain lines and certain elements that you don't cross. You don't
Which I
bring.
would say she didn't cross that
I
because she
know,
used the most
but
basic word possible
yeah,
in describing. It's not like she went above and beyond. It's not like she did anything like Triple H did to Booker T back in the day. Like using saying like stuff like
but
"you people" or anything like
no,
that.
but it's the way the context is. It's the way that video voiced that. It's not. It may not be Tiffy. Maybe Tiffy was focused more on the word bitch. But when you say black bitch, it comes off as racist, especially to women that are African American, that are black. It comes off as degrading women in general, but a specific type of group of women. So when you say black bitch, it is offensive.
Fair, but then I would say, does that really warrant suspension or removal? If anything, that should be all the more reason for people to tune into SmackDown on Friday and see Jade Cargill mollywopper.
I say yes, but at the same time, we don't know what the mindset is with this backlash and how much heat it will bring, especially if it's over the top heat because of the fact that Tiffy said, like, she didn't say it, but she posted it. So that's the issue. It's not about, oh, we're just going to see her mollywopper. Yeah, but at the same time, once she mollywopper, then what? Is she going to get suspended? Maybe. Is she going to get? Because you got to look at it this way: they're trying to protect the brand, and one of your major stars now they may make her what you call one of those wrestlers that get beaten all the time after what she said. We
A
don't know.
jobber,
Yeah, make her a job, but we don't
which
know.
I do not see that happening with Tiffany Stratton.
I
They
know, but guess what? We're in a different era. We don't know what Triple H feels. We don't know what's going to happen. The intent was to basically play kayfabe. I get it, but at the
to
same time,
instigate.
yeah, but at the same time, never bring race into it. Yes, Triple H had did some things that was kind of pushing the envelope on Booker T. There was moments where Booker T said something while being interviewed that were very questionable, and we like, oh, dude, back in that
Yeah,
era,
the
it was
thing is, like, race has always kind of like played to a certain level,
yeah,
especially in certain rivalries. Now, the thing with Jade Cargill is that you got Jade, you got Bianca. Those two are a tag team. They're the tag team champions, and you also include Naomi. You do have a trifecta of powerful black women.
yeah, but
So when you take like the most whitest white girl on SmackDown and place her up against that trifecta, I'm not surprised that they went to this angle. Now, is it something that they should lean heavily on? Absolutely not. And more than likely, when Jade more than likely beats Tiffy tomorrow night on Friday night, I can understand where, hey, then there's a vindication to it.
or it
But
could be, or it could cost Jay Cargo because think about it. Outside, interference. It could be count out, dirty play. It could be anything.
it could be. And mind you, she has been pretty dominant. So I would imagine if she were to lose, it would probably have to be some nefarious reasons because I don't necessarily see Tiffany Stratton as she is right now going over on Jade Cargill
Right.
clean. I don't
Correct.
see that. But again, we won't know necessarily. But the fact of the matter is, she's still on the card. And if WWE decides to do anything, that's completely under them and their rules and regulations. That is not necessarily something that the internet wrestling community has any say in.
And the
So,
Smiths, no,
but that,
no, no, they do. They do. Don't get it twisted. They do. There's been a lot of
mm,
times where the internet wrestling community have voiced their opinion and they made changes and catered to
well,
the
yeah, in regard to like making sure that Roman and The Rock didn't take over WrestleMania, but I would say this is a much, 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 much smaller degree than that.
uh, as you see it, but you can't,
Okay, all right.
because I have to say that because at the same time you're looking at it in one aspect. You got to look at it in another group of people aspect where when yeah, it'll be nice to see J. Carr whoop her ass. It definitely would
Yeah,
be.
you can say that. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
it'll
yeah,
be nice to see her whoop her ass. But at the same time, you got to also remember how dare you? You got a lot of black women that watches wrestling and hear something like that. They'd be like, hold up. Where you going with this? First off, don't think you ain't going. You got people that will look at this and they say, yo, that's kind of racist.
understandable. I'm not
Oh,
saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying you shouldn't see it as that. I'm just saying in the context of what we're talking, in the context of who the people involved, I feel like this is more playing into things than anything else because this is like bare bones what you could have said in that context. It is the most simplistic thing that could have been said.
yeah, but
So I feel like let's see how things play out first.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.